The football that we know is dying, dying. And I will explain everything else right now in this video. The reason why this football is dying is because there aren't enough creative players. There is no more individual brilliancy for the players. Now, hey guys, this is Real Talk FC, and today we're going to be talking about why modern football has lost the spark. Now, in order for you to understand this, you need to think about how this team, how the game, how the players are all involved with the tactical decisions made on the field. Now, in order for you to understand that, for you to understand why I'm saying this, you need to compare the football that we all watched from before for the younger generation, even your highlights that you watch. To be honest, you watch players like Neymar when they were younger and things like that, you will understand it as well. The game isn't the same anymore. There's no more passion, there's no more individual brilliancy, there's no more risk, there's no more nothing. Everything is calculated and controlled. Now, for the viewers, for anyone that loves football, anyone that loves sports, have you noticed now that all these sports became very tactical involved? Every sport has now had this terrible thing suffer, to be honest. In my opinion, is terrible. But you have to agree with me that modern football it's too calculated now. It sacrifices too much on the creative ability and the brilliance of individual skill. Like, you don't see any more Neymars around. You don't see any more Messis around. You don't see any more Kakas, any more Ronaldinhos, any more Zidane's, any of these type of players, these technically skilled players, no more type of R9 strikers. Why is the reason behind that? Because football nowadays do not allow you to take risks on yourself and for your team. Players like over here that we see on Manchester City, you have players like Gundogan, who is a beautiful playmaker who knows how to get the ball up the field and make good plays. He isn't getting that free roll that he was having once before, that he's able to go into pockets of space and dig out passes, being able to create a shot on his own or set up a shot for another striker or his winger. Why is that the case? Because the way how teams are formatted. Over here, you can see I have us as a 4-2-3-1. Generic, very generic positioning for right now, day and age. I'm not saying to throw this out the window. The reason why behind this I'm saying is because yes, teams need structure, but you cannot take the structure to the point where it kills out your brilliance. If you tell that this player is gonna make a run forward over here, so he's gonna check in here, he's gonna come in over here, so this player can come out, tuck in a little bit, so this player can make out wide. You know where everyone's going. You made the play for them. You're telling them that once this player receives the ball over here and he holds it up, now you're gonna have a striker making a run. Your camp making a second striker or playmaker that he'll float over here for the ball to receive, so the striker can continue a run, or he'll make the run himself off the striker. If that's the case, he hits the wing. The wing will hold up play and let his right back come up as a right wing back and make an overlapping play behind him so he can set a through ball for a cross into the middle of the box with two players and one in the back post. The problem with this is everything is too calculated. Everything is too calculated. Just because your player comes over here does not mean you have to wait for this running this right back to make the run in behind. It kills your creativity. You know that if that happens, this is what they're gonna look for. I can tell you different positions from different teams and I can point it out for you. This is not how football is meant to be played. This is why now there's so many people struggling to get into football. Why people say football is boring, because everything is too predictable. Everything is too in your face. We've seen it before. This is not new. This doesn't make me want to play. This doesn't make me want to watch this anymore. How many people are actually watching Manchester City play? Manchester City have all these good players on their team and does not have a good team or game watching retention. Why is that? Because they play a very cautious, controlled game. They do not allow for any individual brilliance like we saw in the past years. Now, currently, Manchester United is in a four-game losing streak. Why is that? Because the players are starting to get predictable. We know what Kevin De Bruyne can produce. We know what Holland can do. Holland, the top signing of the year that everyone was saying, is now getting locked up by everyone because of the fact that he is only waiting for the ball to come to him. He's not going out of his way to make a play. He's not going out of his way to try to pressure the defense by himself or in a specific way. Everything is calculated and formatted for him to play. Now, when you go against a team that's playing predictable and a team that's playing unpredictable, who has more chances? The team that's more unpredictable will have more chances and would be more enjoyable to watch, and you would learn different things from it. That's what we need to see. That's why we need to change the game back to how it was. Or we can take and make it an advancement. Keep the standards, keep your tactics and everything. If you want to go on an attack and have this player come in over here for you to have a three back that and allow your wing backs to become more of attacking oriented, you can. There's no problem with that. But do not set up plays that once your players make it into a specific position, they have to wait for one player to make an overlapping run. They can't take their chance to go shoot from outside of the box in for a good opportunity. They can't take their long shots. They can't send an early cross into the box. They only do this in plays of desperation. Why? Because it's unpredictable. Anything can happen there. You can score, you can win a foul, you can get a handball, you can get a penalty, you can lose the ball, there's a counterattack. It's too much risk, but it's a risk that needs to be taken because football cannot be 0-0 for 90 minutes with no attacking, just waiting for a mistake. That's not how football's meant to be played. You need the individual brilliance of the players to create those opportunities. Young Neymar in this position over here will take the ball. Messi will take the ball from his side of the half all the way through to the final third for him to get a shot on goal or to pass it off to Suarez, Messi, or whatever the case was. They need to realize that this type of football is the way to be played. You cannot have this technical thing where everyone is scared to lose the ball. It is not good. You need to let the brilliancy and the creativity to take over. You have to. You want to lose, you guys want to have players that are amazing dribblers, amazing shot power, amazing talent, and then put them in a confined box that this is where they're supposed to work around. It doesn't work. It's not working. These games are boring now. These games, honestly, are wasting time. They make you wait for 90 minutes to get a 1-0 goal in a tap in. Realistically, any football player, yes, the fact that you scored a goal is amazing, especially if it's a winning goal, it's amazing. But you're telling me you are honestly happy with the way you guys are playing football, with you waiting for the ball to come to your feet instead of you making the opportunity for the ball to come to your feet. These players are not making anything special. There's no more runs and behinds that we saw Mbappe make in 2018 in the World Cup or in Paris Saint-Germain in the other times. There's no more none of that. These teams play on what they have. They know that these players are not fast, they're not this, they're not that, whatever the case is, and they build around them, which is good. But you need to let them expand on their play skills. You do not train them 3 times a day, 2 times a day, 4 times a day, every day for every week for them to just stay in one spot for 90 minutes and when it comes game day. You train them with endurance and these things and stuff like that for what? For them to just wait for someone to make the play so they can finish their play? We're not playing American football. We're not playing basketball that there's design set plays. There's too many factors here. It's not the same. It's the same thing in all those sports as well. If you have a miss up, if you have a mismatch up, if you have a advantage, you change your play style towards that advantage. If you have a defender that's guarding you that is shorter than you, you're gonna go and drive to the paint because he's not gonna jump up as high as you when you go up for a layup or if you go for a dunk. It's not the same. The same thing if you have a tall guy guarding you, you're not gonna want to go into the paint because he will block you. So you make the space for yourself. You're faster and you find a way around it. That's the point that needs to be made here. These are not the type of plays that we need in football anymore. We need players to start taking risks and start working on their true natural game flow that everyone's been talking about to make you stand out from the rest. Everyone has a signature style of playing, but when you play in these tactical situations, you will not end up utilizing them to your fullest. Now, these young players that are coming up now, players younger than me, players that's in academies right now, they are already being implemented with this structure of design. Your generic winger is not a winger anymore. Your generic winger is an option that's just staying, that's not allowing to, doesn't really have those, finesse shot opportunities, those opportunities to get into the box and play a 1-2 and work a shot for themselves or even cross it opportunities. None of that. They are waiting at the top of the box for a ball to come to them and then they can function. There's no individual talent that allows them to tell them, okay, if you see that your center forward is checking in over here for your cam and you see that there's a gap between the defenders, you're not making this run anymore behind them for a ball to come through. You're not. That's not what's being taught anymore. You're taught to stay out here or stay wide and wait for the ball to come to you. You're not making any more forward runs. You're not making behind the line runs. Even there's times where you're not checking in when it needs to be checked in. My team in general, they'll have a play where the winger will check in and the striker would come out of place to make a run in because he pulled the left back out of the position or the right back out of position. And then he'll switch it up like this. Those are plays that are supposed to be working. Those are many different options can be built from these plays. When you do this, the defense is supposed to do what exactly? Gonna let the striker have an opportunity to cut back and go back in goal, or he's gonna mark the man in the middle. The guy is out of the play over here, the left back. So that's individual brilliance that takes player recognition. It's not something that you just wake up one day and your coach says, okay, you know what? We're gonna play this type of formation. Once the ball comes over here, we're gonna wait for the running back, the right back to come over here. The striker's gonna go in the box, and you have an option here. But if anything, you cannot take this player on and go for a shot yourself. You have to recycle the ball, and we're gonna play around the ball until someone else makes a mistake. That's not how it works. We need to see more long shots. These players get paid and train every single day, shooting, passing, all this stuff. And I have rarely seen them take long shots. They're training for what exactly? To make goals inside of the box? You can send anyone to go make a goal inside of the box with enough practice and enough training. You're paying them all these money for them to run around and wait for the ball to score. We're supporting these clubs for what? To watch them just do nothing for 90 minutes? It doesn't make sense. They need to be able to be more versatile on the attack. Players need to understand that they have to utilize their creative brilliance in order to become better players and to stand out more. Especially if you're young and you want to make into something, don't be afraid to play to what you know how to play. If you're good at speed, don't be afraid to utilize that. You can have options that it will work when you're playing in a system like this or a format like this. It can work. So you need to understand that. Now, teams only are looking for tactic over talent, which is a problem because everyone can do anyone can follow tactics. Anybody can. Especially if you train them only for tactics. But talent is always gonna go better. Why you think we haven't seen another Messi so far? Why you think we haven't seen another Neymar so far? Because the talent is there. They grew up with them playing free flowing football and they had opportunities coming for them instead. Now you have teams just sitting and waiting because they know that this team is going to wait for a mistake and I'm going to wait for their mistake and everyone's just waiting for mistakes. That's why these games are so boring now. They need to learn how to go back to playing as a team that's allowed to make mistakes in order to get the goals. You need to have the risks. If there's no risk, there's no reward. It's the most basic saying there is. High risk means high reward. Low risk means low reward. They're playing low risk football, which is giving them low opportunities, low chances, low everything. They need to play back into how teams were before. Barcelona before used to have beautiful talent, beautiful tactics, and the works and it worked together. But now they're so cautious. Now recently under Flick, they've been able to pick up on how they were kind of was before. Now they're winning teams easily. All the players are having fun and stuff like that because they understand you can have your systematic format. You just can't kill the talent within that format. You have players wanting to stand here, fine. But then once you get them into those positions, let their talent take over. Let what they've been training for to take over because now the game is becoming very boring. It is becoming very boring and it is losing interest because everyone is waiting to find the gap. That's not how it's supposed to be made. You have to make it to in order to get those gaps and everything. And this game is becoming very disconnected from everyone right now. And no one really enjoys it. No one likes watching it. It's like a chess match. This is not supposed to be a chess match. This is a free flowing sport. I think that this game needs to be changed back to the way it was, how it was when we all watched it, when we were all growing up. This is the best way of playing football like this in all ways because you either have a predictable team or you have an unpredictable team. And I promise you, if you have those team match up with each other, unpredictable teams will always, always beat the predictable team because predictable teams, you know what's gonna happen. Unpredictable, they can shoot, they can pass, they can do whatever, they can dribble, they can go into the goal themselves. The keep can go by himself if you want to. That's what we need. We need to go back and get the old style of football. That's what's needed. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys understood my rant. And this is the reason why football, I believe, is failing at the moment and is losing a lot of interest. Thank you guys. I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe, follow for more. And please comment for any more tips, any more videos, ideas, anything like that. I got you guys. Thank you guys. Have a good one. This has been Real Talk.